Well, one of those included in the honours list is John Lloyd, producer of Not the 9 O'Clock News, Spitting Image, Blackadder and QI. He's been awarded a CBE and joins me on the phone now. Congratulations. I imagine some people would have thought with your depiction of the Queen in Spitting Image you were persona non grata as far as this list was concerned.
Yes, I did think Her Majesty might have a little rubber stamp with a large no on it that would have would have blotted my copybook, as it were. And the other thing that occurred to me, they might have made a mistake. It might be the tennis player. So,
so you were genuinely surprised?
I was astonished, absolutely, yes.
And how does it feel as somebody who's worked on some pretty influential and pretty controversial television series to have that work recognised?
Well, it's great, and without being too pious about it, I've been very lucky in the people that I work with, and they're an amazing group of talented people, and I think it's, the producer is only the representative of all the people who work for the programme, and it's, kind of the award is not just for them, but for anybody who struggles to try and make television that lasts and matters, and it's not a difficult thing. Not an easy thing to do sometimes, to stand up for what you believe in and what you think is right.
Did it raise your morale then a little to feel that original television, the kind that you've been putting out, has been recognised, as opposed to some of the programmes that you in the past have been quite rude about, one could say?
Well, I think there's a difference between a programme that's successful and one that is good, actually, or sometimes they're the same, and that's what we all strive to do. I was BBC trained. I joined the BBC in 1974 at a time when the BBC really knew what it stood for, and people sometimes said it was a bit patrician and arrogant, but we definitely all had a sense of public mission, that it was important to try and make programmes that were educational, entertaining and informative all at once, and the same was true of current affairs and light entertainment. So light entertainment tried to make programmes that were interesting and well-informed, and current affairs tried to make programs which were entertaining, if you like, and try and find that middle ground, which is what broadcasting means. It means to a broad audience, not a niche audience. And that demands a kind of attitude of really trusting your instincts and being brave about things rather than worrying about what the papers might think, or, trying to legislate for quality by having large committees of people, all of whom are slightly anxious about, well, we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do that. The BBC I grew up in was, let's try that, that's a good idea, let's go for it.
Do you worry that perhaps the backlash in the light of the Andrew Sachs incident on Radio 2 and various other pressures about compliance and about not offending people have meant that programme makers like yourself are inclined to take fewer risks?
Well, I hope it's a question of what risks one's allowed to take these days. But in my day, all the risk devolved on the producer. You wrote your own letters. You were the compliance department. You had a very strong sense of what the audience would stand and what they wouldn't stand. And of course, you took the blame if things went wrong. And you were supported by the hierarchy above you. I don't think that's the case now. People try and take out anything that might be offensive, risky, different, strange, unusual before it ever gets on air. So you get a kind of, bland leek and potato soup a lot of the time, which is, it's not risky, but it's perhaps not very interesting either. And those shows like, that you mentioned, Blackadder and so forth, they last because somebody took a chance. Blackadder was cancelled after the first series because it didn't get good enough ratings and it ran over budget, and the BBC in those days rescinded their decision. They decided it was worth another go, and the rest is history. I don't think that would be likely to happen now.
OK, well, very many congratulations, John Lloyd, CBE. Thanks very much for your time this afternoon.